41 Degrees South began as a tourism venture like we are now in about 2005. We applied for a National Landcare Resource and Innovations grant to establish what we have around here now, and we've been growing naturally since then. Before that, we were just a fish farm, so we started that in approximately 2001. So we bought the land in about 2000. In 2001, we became a fish farm with no tourists, where we basically took like the skills that we had from Germany and whatnot and implemented them here. And then in 2005, we opened to tourists until now. And because we had a lot of land here, which was deemed useless, say, like a wetland swamp area, and you couldn't really do anything with it. So rather than just do the normal sort of production side of things, we thought, well, maybe we can turn it into something that people can come and visit, and we can become sort of a eco-friendly, sustainable process that offers an alternative for farming to the norm. So like, for example, we created the wetland as a biological filter for the fish waste. A, because the area was a natural wetland in the first place, so it catered toward what was there, but B, because it made use of the wetland lake area that was dead land to us anyway. So therefore we had two functions. We're situated just outside of Deloraine, probably about 5 minutes from the town of Deloraine, in a little area called Red Hills, and we're based on the Western Creek. Basically, we bought the land because it had a waterfall and a river on it, and at the end of the day, water is king. So you can, if you have water, you can do most things, agriculturally, aquaculture, anything, you know, because at the end of the day, without water, you can't do much with respect to growing. So therefore, because we had the water, and because my dad was interested in a work sea change, what he did was he was doing wrought iron and metal work, and in Tasmania in winter it gets quite cold. He was in a big factory, so therefore this allowed him to have a different avenue or a different income stream, which was more suited to what he liked, and so we thought we'd try it, basically. Natural progression's a lot of the answer to how we got here, but the choice was a clear choice in the beginning to change occupation, if you like. So it's all learning by doing. Same with horticulture, same with everything here. It's sort of like a try it, see how it works. If it fails, either edit it and do it again or do something different. Any new staff that come here, it's not just a monotonous single type of job. Like whoever would come here would have to have, even if they're employed in the processing only, would have to still have people skills, would have to eventually learn to make coffee and serve food and like interact with people and take money and cash handling. Not everybody would have to do bookkeeping, you know, but there'd be responses to emails as well as packing and gutting and processing and weeding and digging and planting and building and fixing, you know. So these things don't cater for every employee, but everybody needs to know at least a little bit of some of it. I think most businesses, because of our population here and the limited access to resources as well, as in human resources as well as physical, you know, working tools, you need to be skilled in like repairs or, you know, having multiple job classifications, I suppose. Your job description isn't just stand here, pick these berries. It's stand here, pick these berries, and then box them, and then sort them, and then sell them, and then take money, and then give receipts, and then post them, and all the rest of it. There are different definitions of what you classify as a tourism venture, but generally I would classify a tourism venture as either the movement of humans around an establishment, rather than, or the movement of tourists around a location, like a state or something like that. So here, yes, we do one part of that, namely we give tours and we show people around our farm as a working fish farm, but people can also do that by themselves. But because we are also an aquaculture business, we focus primarily on the processing of a product, and the tourism is secondary as such. It's still there and it's a relevant large part of our business, but we haven't got the primary focus of the movement of these people. It's more so the capturing of the people, and then by default, by us doing what we do, the people can see what happens on their own accord rather than someone taking them around and showing them. When we do job interviews or look for staff, we do look for more pragmatic people rather than academic people, because even though academia is very important when you're talking scientific or specific information, Because on a farm, most of that information is repetitive, it's quite easy to teach someone. The hard things to teach someone are human skills, like interpersonal skills, or even simple like maths in your head, you know, like doing your times table, you know. We've had young people here, you know, who can work without the till, and we've had, and when I say young, I mean like 13, 14, 15, you know, work experienced people. And we've had people that I would classify as older, sort of late 30s and 40s, who can't add up 15 and 7, you know, because it's not something that they do. So, like when we employ people, we try and look for people who have that little bit of nous and street smarts and self-confidence, which you can't really learn from school. You have to learn that from life, and you have to have lived life and done stuff to learn that. And a vet course is a more practical, pragmatic process where they actually do go out and have to do stuff and make mistakes. So therefore, in my opinion, it's a little bit more relevant in this industry.